I don't care. I don't fucking care. We're gonna do it anyway, dude. All right. Fucking. We're just gonna pretend that conversation that we just got halfway into. We didn't have that conversation. We're restarting it. Act just as surprised as you were a second ago. Okay.
I'm not that good of an actor, but I'll try.
Let's just pretend the first 18 seconds was like the perfect segue into me singing. No, I love the song, but it annoys me the fact that the Hank Williams version, for some reason, I'm sorry, the guy, not the Guy Clark version, the Guy Clark original version of Hank Williams Said It Best has very different lyrics, but not quite completely different lyrics, just enough to really throw you off from the Mick Harvey version of Hank Williams Said It Best. Uh-huh. And it's like, well, how do you mean?
Yeah,
right?
how different are they?
How different are they? What do you mean they're different? I thought it's a cover. No, it is a cover. But instead of like covering the song, like a carbon copy and just tracing it, he did like a reimagination of it, like a reinterpretation,
So are whole like lines changed?
It's not quite. It's kind of like he heard the song on Monday and then recorded it on like Thursday.
So he just did what he remembered, kind of.
Yeah, he was just like filling in the blanks. Like, one man's pigeon is another man's dove. One man's push is another man's shove.
That sounds right.
So yeah, that sounds pretty good. And then so let's just go. So again, it's weird that I had to rewind 57 seconds of the song since this is the first time we're talking about this on the cuff right here. It's on the arm. So I mean, a little bit of an intro. You think I'm gonna pause it because they're probably blasting me. I don't even know who heard that.
It looked like it got super loud.
It looked like it did get super loud. I'm sorry, but you think with the whole you can easily connect to your phone to the podcaster, you can hear the audio and you can hear it at the same time, but I'm not wearing earbuds. So instead of that cool, awesome feature, no, we're just going to play it old school right in the microphone.
Why can't it?
All right. So, it's like you just really not resort to just playing music on your podcast and not talking, just letting music play, especially this song of all songs. This is the song you're putting on the podcast? Yes. Now, hold on. I got a little ahead of myself. We're gonna read along here and play a game. We're gonna read along 4 lines at a time of what every single website in the world, like lyrics.com, says what the lyrics are, and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, that's not what Alex said. What is this guy saying? So the first, it should go, one man's hawk is another man's dove. One man's hug is another man's shove.
But you're looking up the original versions, lyrics.
Right?
Why don't you just look up his?
Because that's what doesn't exist. No one's ever, died on that hill. But I'm gonna fucking make sure we remember this. Everyone's like, too much effort. Or maybe every time he performs the song, it's just, again, slightly different so no one can quite get the right version of it. So it should be, one man's hawk is another man's dove. One man's hug is another man's shove. One man's rock is another man's sand. One man's fist is another man's hand. 4 lines. Hope you followed along.
4 pretty good lines, too.
4 pretty good ones. And then Mick Harvey, who said this song kicks ass, I should do this, was like,
what the fuck does he say again?
Let's see.
What did Mick Harvey say again?
Let's see. All right. Again, you guys just playing music now? Yes. Okay, so that's 3 words in, and we've already found our first, blunder. Okay.
So he's like, the fuck's the first word?
What's the thing? One man's fucking
definitely pigeon.
It's a bird. Some fucking pigeon. One man's pigeon is another man's dove. That's interesting because then again, every once in a while the song will come on. I haven't heard this in forever. I want to sing along, right? I look up the lyrics and I get fucking faked out every goddamn time where I go to sing. You know how demoralizing it is just to fuck. You sing along to a song every once in a while, like, oh, I can't keep up with the rapper, and you're like, oh, I fucking stumbled. You know how demoralizing it is in like a basically fucking folk song to be fucked up on the 3rd word. Like, you feel like an ass. Like, wow, I guess I misread hawk
folk song
to pigeon. It's fucking asinine and unfair, okay?
But why did he change it to pigeon?
I don't know.
It changes the entire meaning of the line.
So one man's hawk is another man's dove. So far, we're not correct.
And it's not like he said something that's like a hawk. Like, it's another man's fowl. Like, he said the exact opposite
he said
type
a dirty,
of bird.
dirty bird.
That's
one
so
was majestic and one just fucking disgusting. So let's you think that's the only one that can fuck up, right? Let's reread the 4 lines. One man's hawk is another man's dove. We didn't quite get that one. Okay, we got one man's pigeon is another man's dove. Next, just to clarify, we should have one man's hug is another man's shove. One man's rock is another man's sand. One man's fist is another man's hand.
Okay.
All right, there we go again. Line 2, word 3. You're singing along. You stumble on the first line, saying, "All right, fuck, it's a pigeon. All right, next one, I got this. One man's push. Fuck. is another man's shove, okay? So far, again, not quite getting it.
This guy doesn't really know how doing a cover works.
One man's rock, another man's sends. All right, 2 in a row, we're good. There's a quick... Yeah. Okay, I didn't read the next lines. I forgot about that part. So just to clarify, so you guys can actually, since you're not having the pleasure of reading it, you don't know immediately if the lines are right or wrong. That was bad on my part. So we have one man's grief is another man's joy. One man's squawk is another man's sing. One man's crutch is another man's wing. One man's pride is another man's humble. Okay, there's a little preview for what's to come. All right, see, we're on top of it.
Maybe he just couldn't remember Hawk.
That could be it. Yeah, we can talk over this part. This part's correct, guys. Don't worry about it. All right, that one. You guys wondering since I didn't say that one yet? That one was also correct. All right, we're on a really good streak here. Only 5 lines left. Going to finish strong.
He just really disagreed with the sentiment
first
behind
3 couple lines. He's like, "Fuck that."
He's like, "I'm not saying hug."
So then we have one man's loss is another man's gain. One man's can isn't. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Can and can. Okay, listen. Can. All right. It's not fair that words are spelled similarly, and then I'm really high right now. Okay. One man's can is another man's grail. One man's anchor is another man's sail. One man's right is another man's wrong. And then this one really focus on this one rhymes with the next. They did one man's right is another man's wrong. One man's curse is another man's song. So song and wrong, like, oh, nice way to tie that in, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Let's see how Mick Harvey interprets ending a verse. Okay, we're just gonna do the first verse. Okay, we won't do the whole song and just keep being more and more confused. We're gonna let it just be, let it die. Okay. Correct. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Here's the part, guys. He's saying wrong. You're like, oh, let's hear that rhyme scheme for song.
Nice.
I'm sorry. Did he just say one man's fish is another man's croissant? Croissant? This song's called Hank Williams Said It Best, and I just heard the word croissant. And also, everyone's like, what's so funny about that? Where was that? Wait, was it supposed to rhyme? Yeah, it went from me reading, again, since he tricked me for 6 lines in a row being right on track, I'm like, okay, that was just the first part, and I can sing along confidently, not like an asshole, and trip on my words again, right? So I'm like, one man's right is another man's wrong. One man's curse is another man's song. But in reality, what I'm hearing in my ears is one man's fish, not curse, is another man's song, so he rhymes with the wrong. One man's curse is another man's song was interpreted on his retelling of the song as one man's fish is another man's croissant.
He's like, he can't remember hawk or hug, and he's like, wait, how the fuck's this verse end again? One man has rights, and other
probably. There's no justification in which that should have been a line that was conceived. It rhymes with nothing. It's completely a random. I don't understand the comparison on that one. A fish and a croissant. And why couldn't he say croissant?
We have no way of knowing if that's actually what he's saying. Though.
It's 100. We'll listen to it again. All right. We're gonna have me again. We're gonna rewind it. Put it in the microphone. I went way too far. Nice. There's no other interpretation of what he's saying. He's saying one man's fish is another man's croissant.
Dude, that's the name of the episode.
One man's fish is another man's croissant. That's actually, I was going to call it... First off, I really wish I could somehow really emphasize... Maybe it's spelled differently. I really want to emphasize that you should read that as croissant.
Yeah. Croissant.
And also, I was going to call it Hank Williams Said It Best, but no, you're right. For once, what we say we're going to call the episode, we're actually going to call the goddamn episode.
Nice.
Fucking... And it's like, again, and I've heard Hank Williams' other songs. He doesn't say weird shit like croissant in them, okay? He's usually the song usually doesn't have random ass shit like that.
Damn it, I was going to say, well, just go so I was just going to say,
Yeah, there we go, buddy.
I was going to say,
your time there.
so we're not just playing the same. I have to talk like those on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, what is
I
that
was
about? How does
going
everyone
to
talk so
say-
slow in these videos? They're like, hello, Ryan Murphy today. We're going to be talking about how he and his Glee cast were at odds.
See, words are hard.
They become harder when you stop and try to say them like that. That just breaks. How do people even think that way?
Dude,
you know how hard it is to talk? It means you have to like, because when you're having thoughts, I think most people are kind of like, like a string of consciousness.
Nope.
Right? So you'd think that you just kind of naturally be saying things. No. I'm going to one word at a time. So by the time I finish my sentence, I've lost track of where I wanted to go with my thoughts because I've gone this slowly. I've kind of just trailed off.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's disturbing, and I got to the bottom of it.
You know what's disturbing? One
okay.
man's fish is another man's croissant.
I was gonna say we shouldn't just listen to this song. Let's just pull up the lyrics, but we can't. We gotta
can't
listen
pull
to
up the
more.
lyrics.
We gotta see how fucking far off this guy gets.
Let's listen to the chorus. All right, we'll see. We shouldn't go down the fucking rabbit hole
because
of verse 2 and God forbid verse 3.
I agree with you, but because of the fact that he only fudged up 2 lines in the beginning, and he just also completely lost the train of thought at the end.
It'd be really funny
I gotta
if
see what else
YouTube like
happens.
copyrights only the parts of the song being played, so like it just now it becomes the most incoherent conversation of all time, where you just hear us reacting to song lyrics without. So like they hear us read the correct lyrics, then say, "Isn't that wrong?" And they're like, "I don't know, I can't hear it."
So it would just be
the worst blanks of all time.
Croissant out of nowhere.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Croissants, apparently.
Here's the fucking chorus. Okay, again, you think that'd be something sacred about it? Probably read it first again. I keep forgetting that whole very important part of this thing. It should start off by saying, "For every father's daughter, for every mother's son." If recollection serves, I think that actually might be the way he starts it off. So that might be a given.
Okay.
The only thing the same is that it ain't for anyone. Hank Williams said it best. He said it a long time ago. Unless you have made no mistakes in your life, be careful of stones that you throw.
That's a good line.
Okay.
I'm sure he's gonna butcher that one.
To be quite honest, I'm almost positive it's verbatim that, which may have ruined the entire build-up. But we're going to go on that.
Oh, I hope
together.
it's not. That's going to be really disappointing.
No, technically, he didn't say the word "for," so actually, he changed the. I was completely right. Actually, the whole build-up was worth it.
Good.
He dropped 2 words that were very crucial. Instead of saying "for every father's daughter" and "for every mother's son," he was like, "Fuck that," and said just "every father's daughter, every mother's son." Which actually kind of takes away a lot of the meaning.
I don't like the flow as much.
What a simplification. What a, like a not an addition by subtraction.
You
The
know,
complete opposite. That was actually subtraction by subtraction.
You know how sometimes they say, don't say something with more words, say it with less words?
Yeah,
Sometimes
this
it
was
doesn't
not that.
sound as well when you do it that way.
Yeah, that's when you go into like, I think brain go good.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, no, we need those filler words in there. All right, so now it's be the only thing the same is that it ain't for anyone. Again, I'm pretty positive this all follows through. Classic, got it right. You remember that line? That one stood out to him when he was playing it on Thursday from Mondays, listening. Yeah, I want to let that adjust with me. I don't want to just hop right in the studio.
It's weird he remembers everything
It's
but
super weird.
fish.
Oh no, I
just
lied. None of
skipped
those.
the entire chorus.
He just said he called the song Hank Williams. Said it best. Then said, "Fuck what he said." Though I don't want to get into that nonsense.
You want another thing?
He literally,
Fuck that guy.
the chorus went from being 6 lines to like, there's 2, I think.
He only remembered
And
the
he
first
jumped right
2.
into the next fucking verse. This son of a bitch.
What did he say? I bet you it's not even.
One man's deuce is another man's ace. I think he said that.
Yeah, he did.
This is fucking psycho. This is why fucking he's no longer a bad seed. Okay, like you're even
He's
too bad
too
for
bad.
us.
You gotta get
Nick
out of
Cave
here.
was like, get the fuck out of here, dude. All right, we're the bad seeds, not the terrible seeds. Yes. All right, so he was okay with that rhyme. He kept that one. He allowed us, since he robbed us of wrong to song. He's like, all right, I'll give them ace to face.
Dude, why does this guy hate Hank Williams so much?
I don't know, man. Yeah, for a song called Hank Williams Said It Best, you're not really allowing him to say much.
And also, I just always assumed Hank Williams Said It Best was by Hank Williams for some reason. I don't know why. I thought it was
No,
always
that's by Guy Clark. I think Guy Clark's also the dumb who does a really shitty fucking cover of Highwaymen, where he does like all 4 verses, and it's like, I'm sorry, what?
You know that thing we said before about losing the meaning of things? It kind of loses the meaning
I'm
of it.
sorry.
It's the same guy singing.
literally each verse is a different story from a different perspective with a different voice, and he said, "Fuck it, I'll do them all." And then you're like, well, surely he does like 4 different interpretations of his voice. No, it's just his shitty fucking run-of-the-mill country ass fucking sound on every stupid fucking verse.
Nice.
On all of them.
It's actually a commentary.
And pretty positive. It's like acousticy and like was really watered down. It's quite offensive, actually.
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Back to you. That sounds rough. What do you think?
Well, I was going to make a dumb joke, but
you know what? You're right. Thank you for sparing me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
One man's reason is another man's rhyme. One man's dollar is another man's dime. One man's tree is another man's post. One man's angel is another man's ghost.
I thought you were going to say anus. I had no idea why. That's where I thought you were going.
Fucking, Mick Harvey's going to say, man. Let's see.
It's not Mick Harvey. You keep saying that.
What?
You keep saying that's what Mick Harvey's going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, that is his name.
Guy Clark's the bozo who does the actual
No, who's
song.
the guy singing the song?
Mick Harvey.
Oh, Hank Williams said it best.
There's a lot of guys' names in the story to follow.
Mick Williams, what's his name?
Mick Harvey.
Mick Harvey said it kind of poorly, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The song called Hank Williams Said It Best by Guy Clark, redone by Mick Harvey. All right, it's very easy to follow.
Loosely interpreted by Mick Harvey.
Yeah, very loosely. So since that long pause, I guess I'll reread these goddamn lines, fill up another 20 seconds of airtime.
You're welcome.
That was lame. You're welcome. Dude, you're the worst. You're welcome.
Hey, I said I didn't want to record right now. It was a bad idea, okay?
You're welcome.
Put this upon yourself.
What was that? Where'd that come from? What part of you was that?
I don't know, I was just being cute, okay?
Don't be cute. How about we get more like, yeah, you're fucking welcome, all right? A little more attitude in there, all right? Yeah, you're fucking,
it's a good
yeah.
call.
No
I should actually work on that.
No skin off of my back, all right? Yeah.
You know what I really wanted to do today for preparation today? And the reason I'm going to spoil it is because I don't think I'll be able to do it.
Right.
Actually, it's way too unrelated. I'm sorry.
All right, so back to the song. You know, maybe we should stick with the whole, yeah, that's awesome. How about you? One man's dollar is another man's dime. One man's tree is another man's post. One man's angel is another man's ghost. I read it as anal again for a second and stopped and she put the thought in my head.
One man's dollar is another man's
Correct.
Nice.
One man's tree
Yeah.
is another man's post.
Perfect.
One man's angel is
10 out of 10.
ghost. One man's rain is another man's drought.
He's got it. All right, again, we're on a really good territory, and I feel like now it's getting to the point where I'm exhausting the experience of the songs. Now I'm getting bored listening to it.
Okay, so I guess I
So
can tell
now
my
we
thing.
can
then.
go into what you want to talk
Nice.
about, and now it's like almost a complete episode talking about one thing, but it's like how much is it? You know, after a certain point of realizing you're just sitting listening to a song, talking about the lyrics, you realize like, I'm quite a pricky little piece of shit, and I want to just shut the fuck up now and go back to just talk about something else and enjoying the song for what it is. And then Mick Harvey, being the bad seed that he is, the fuck you, the authority, was like, I'm gonna do my own version of the song.
Because we were watching that video about Andrew Tate, I was going to try to whip out this Andrew Tate impression.
Right.
And I was thinking, no, I can't just pull out Andrew Tate impression. I have to actually listen to his interviews and try to actually learn how to do the voice.
Who would have thought an hour-long Decay by Jay Aubrey could be so terrible, but also like just enjoyable enough to actually watch and enjoy, but also be like, this is really a boring video.
It's a weird balance.
It's a really weird balance he struck over there of like making videos that are like edited really well and like borderline engaging. They're not, and it's like they're engaging because you're watching, but then there's every couple of points there's a last where you're like, why am I watching this? Is it just the flashy editing?
It's a good thing we had 2 times speed at our hands.
I know, the 1 hour video became a 30-minute video.
That's just how efficient we are over here at the Buzz Yurasits show. We get things
We
done.
talk about, that's why we talk so fast. We talk so fast you're forced to put in like a half-time speech, then we're getting twice the watch time. They're like, that's interesting. Their videos are only 30 minutes long, but everyone's watching them for an hour at a time.
That's genius.
With 99.9% retention rate. We've never seen it before.
I decided
Higher.
I'm not going to bother trying to learn it because I realized after watching that video, there's no way I could ever even figure out how to do that voice.
Yeah, also, it'd probably be a pretty... I don't know. That's the one I'm gonna put time and energy into perfecting this impression.
That's also a really good
yeah,
good viewpoint on it.
You got to test the waters out for. He's right now. He's been a hot commodity, but it's like, how long does that last? You know, you got to do like that's why at this point after like 5 years, like, all right, now I can start doing Port and Jeterson in impressions. You know, he stuck around, so maybe 3 years, and you're like, all right, this guy's clearly a fixture. Let me learn this fucking voice.
Is there any other songs we can talk about?
Probably millions. Should we talk about another song?
I think we should.
Should we just loop back to Hank Williams again? Maybe now we've digested
I
it.
think
Now
we've let
the boys are
time's
like,
passed.
these guys everyone's listening to the cast like, dude, the brothers are gonna fucking just not leave me to go look the rest of the song up.
Yeah, that's not fair.
That's not fair at all. That's not why I came here. I came here to figure out what Hank Williams in fact did say.
And my little intermission wasn't worth much. So
No,
let's
who-
salvage
who
a little
could've
bit.
predicted that?
Yeah, well, I did. I actually predicted it.
You did.
And I
Actually,
waited
this
for
is
it anyways.
you know what? Actually, I never even got sick listening to the song. I just wanted to expose you for how shitty your idea was. Okay, that's the entire fucking point of that exercise. Where were we? One man's angel is another man's
Angel.
ghost. One
Yeah.
man's rain is another man's dread. Also, I feel like that's kind of, I just had the microphone like at my waist, so my audio might have just been like really fucking non-existent for I don't know how long.
Wait,
I wasn't-
really?
I
How long
wasn't
was it
paying
down?
attention to how where my microphone was.
Oh God, I hope the gods not just me telling my
Incoherent
dumb fucking
psychobabble.
story over
Yeah,
here
just-
by
it's
myself.
Crickets and just you going off. With my
It was good that you left the room for a minute.
Yeah.
And I just
It's gonna be
started talking to
terrible.
myself.
And like, wow, Robbie's a fucking ditz. Those fucking subscribers you gained this week, we're leaving. You know, you gotta strike while that iron's hot, Robbie.
No, I did the opposite.
One man's fucking rain is another man's goddamn drought. One man's hope is another man's doubt. One man's false is another man's fair. One man's toupee is another man's hair. I guarantee Mick Harvey is not saying one man's toupee is another man's hair.
He's gonna loop back to the croissant
Yeah,
bit.
so fucking one man's toupee is another man's croissant.
Man's hope is another man's doubt.
Perfect. I guarantee the other one's fucked up.
One man's false is another man's fair. One man's tooth is another man's hair. One
Yep.
Okay, what was that one?
Instead of one man's toupee is another man's hair, which makes perfect sense as dumb as it sounds, he said the very fucking introspective, one man's tooth is another man's hair.
I'm sorry. He said one man's tooth is another man's
As
hair.
in teeth.
But you said you said he said what man's tooth is another man's hair.
Yes.
So he didn't change hair. He left
He
hair
left
alone.
hair and he compared it
Well,
instead of
I
saying
don't
toupee
understand what
to
teeth have to do
hair.
with anything.
He said one man's tooth is another man's hair.
So it's interesting. I thought the toupee line was stupid, but I think the tooth line's significantly dumber.
It's just it's offensively dumb. And I like the song. And I'm not going to even
What
put
is
on the
he
Guy Clark version. But I think
talking
this guy's voice is terrible if memory serves. And I'm okay with the Mick Harvey version. I'm just confused by it.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
So instead of one man's toupee is another man's hair, we got
You know what it is? It
the
means
one man's
comb.
tooth.
It means tooth comb.
I don't think he means that. And if he does, that's way too much of a stretch. And the fact that you even got to that conclusion and arrived there is fucking astonishing.
Thank
It's either
you.
absolutely brilliant or just a desperate attempt to like save your life, you know?
I appreciate that.
You're reaching out for the life. I think, oh, I fucking Da Vinci coded this and found the inner meaning.
the fucking
I was
puzzle
doing, yeah, I
piece.
wish we were recording on that when I was deciphering my hands and I'm opening that fucking thing. One man's. I'm really thrown by this fucking tooth line.
What's worse, the fish, the tooth, or the
I just
pigeon?
look through the lines since it's all in one verse. I'm like, I can't even find my place because I'm looking for the word tooth. One man's toupee is another man's hair, all right? This should be followed exactly by one man's hand is another man's stub. Pretty positive he doesn't say that. One man's feast is another man's grub. That sounds foreign as well. One man's dread is another man's dream. That sounds kind of on the point, maybe. One man's sigh is another man's scream. All right, so we're looking for the words stub, grub, dream, scream, hand, feast, dread, sigh. That would have been really helpful to say in the beginning of the video instead of just making everyone remember 4 bars at the same time. I should just point out the bulletin words.
man's funny is another
Nope.
man's cruel.
No, the next line was completely different on both fronts. What did he even say?
He said, well, man's funny, and I didn't hear what he said after that.
So he was supposed. This fucking cocksucker was supposed to say one man's hand is another man's stub, and I said I don't think that sounds. I don't think I've ever heard that line my entire life. No, he said one man's funny is another man's crude.
I have no idea.
This fucking lunatic.
Funny is another man's cruel. One man's
Cruel. I think he said one man's funny is another man's cruel.
Oh.
So that wasn't what he heard. So it should be followed by again. I don't think he's gonna rhyme stub with grub since he didn't set up the whole stub thing. So let's see if he
I hope
does.
he
Maybe
keeps
he's really
drubbed now.
crazy. He's a crazy son of a bitch.
Well, he
Got the next
changed
one.
toupee to tooth, so who knows what's going on.
One man's feast is another man's grub? No, one man's
food?
feast is another man's food.
What a stupid fucking line.
One man's feast is another man's food. Every man's feast is every man's food. Isn't it? By definition, isn't your feast
That's
your
my-
food?
yeah. I've said a lot of stupid things. That is by far the dumbest thing that's been ever said.
Yeah, and where the fuck's your album sales? You know, where's your probably hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Don't worry, it's coming.
I think I gotta start saying shit like fucking one man's feast is another man's food, and I'll go fucking triple platinum. Mick Harvey's listening to this. He's like, yeah, that's hilarious. I fucking went triple. Fuck, you're a fucking asshole.
Thanks, Roman.
Yeah, thanks, dick. One man. So he just again. One man's feast is another man's fucking food.
It's so stupid.
Now let's see if the next two. We heard these ones. One man's dread is another man's dream. One man's sigh is another man's scream.
One man's dread, another man's dream. One man's sigh, another man's scream.
Perfect.
You know what's interesting though?
No, that's dude. You know, I just felt such a weight off of my chest. I just
I know, I saw
exhaled and
your
I was
face.
like, oh,
You actually
thank
look a
God.
little
I don't have
younger
to
now.
scream and yell for a second. I can just breathe and actually not feel like I'm gonna just pass out from talking.
I'm all for people changing the lyrics when they do a cover song and like I'm okay. He changed "hug the
Can you
push."
give me another? Can you give me one example though where this is a thing? Who
Not-
does this? It's honestly offensive.
I have one example, but it's really stupid.
The whole point of a cover is being like, this is a really awesome song. I really love for my band to do a rendition of it. But then you're just going to say, but I'm going to make better lyrics.
My point was though,
That's
I'm
fucked up.
okay if that happens, but like I feel like he's changing certain lyrics to the point of where the line makes
line
no
is
meaning
no longer
anymore.
yeah, well,
to the
again,
point where the rest of the song
one
kind of loses all
man's-
meaning. Hey,
One man's feast is another man's grub. That kind of makes sense because
Yeah.
grub's like considered, oh yeah, it's nothing, blah, right?
Yeah.
It's just saying food, yeah.
It doesn't make
Any
any
feast
sense.
is food.
But by changing those couple of lines, make those lines dumb, the whole message of the song I feel like gets fucked up.
Guy's a lunatic, dude. Again, this is why he was obviously hostilely thrown out of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
And is he ever going to say the Hank Williams line?
I don't think so.
Also, did Hank Williams supposedly say all of this, or is it just the one line they quote in the chorus?
It's a great fucking question, Robbie. I don't have the answer to
Because
it.
the way this song is set up,
this is the fucking music review episode, not the fucking research episode, okay?
Sorry, my mistake.
One man's water is another man's wine. One
That's a
man's
good line.
daughter leave another man crying.
That line does not.
That line
flow.
should be changed.
Yeah, hopefully he fixed that. That one doesn't
Guy
follow
Clark's
the
a
pattern.
fucking idiot. I was right this whole time, okay? I thought fucking maybe Mick Harvey started changing lines just so it wouldn't be too appalling when he changed that stupid one. Maybe it was a heroic movement by him. He was like, you know, I don't want to offend Guy Clark and just change the one outlandishly bad one, so I'll change a few of the stupid ones.
And he didn't want it to be too jarring for everybody when they got to that conclusion. So he thought changing the third fucking word wasn't jarring enough.
exactly. So, all right, now let's see. One man's water, another man's wine.
One man's water is another man's wine.
Perfect. I didn't honestly. I wasn't 100% sure, but I was pretty confident in that one.
That's a little
because I
too
feel
good
like I
of a
haven't
line.
heard verse 2 or 3 as much as verse 1 because I go to sing along to it and I just throw my phone against the fucking wall because like God every time. But I don't even know how you could have changed in any conceivable way. One man's water is another man's wine, at all.
You could have said one man's water is another man's Gatorade.
Well, yeah, you're right. He could have gone off the deep end and just been like absurd. But I mean, as far as saying things that kind of make sense, like are supposed to sound philosophical. Like if you like, literally, it's like, one man's water is another man's ocean. Like, that doesn't make sense, you know?
Well,
That's
this-
stupid.
this
There's
one man's
water in the
fish is
ocean.
another man's croissant.
Those are comparable things. All right, now again, one man's daughter leave another man crying. I don't know that
Didn't
doesn't
you
make
have like this
sense.
pattern of writing for the entire thing before
Yes.
this line? You just said
Not
fuck
anymore. He had one last line of the verse. Like, I can't think of anything. We're going to the chorus anyway. Just fucking one man's daughter leave another man crying.
One man's daughter make another man cry.
Okay,
Hey,
he
that one he
changed
kept.
it.
Well, okay, you're right.
He
did
said
keep
one
it.
man's daughter leave another man crying, and he realized he's like, that's too many words. So he said, what did he say? One man's
Said
daughter,
one man's daughter make another man cry.
Yeah, that at least flows the thing, kind of.
Yeah, it
Good on
completely
you,
flows.
Mick.
Yeah, we take everything else we said back.
Back to the chorus. We can skip.
He probably does the next couple lines of the chorus. He only sang the first two lines before.
Maybe.
He's probably real creative.
Nope, he dropped the fours again. He said, fuck the fours.
Okay, so he's not doing what I said.
Only thing the same is that it ain't for anyone. Now, right here, Hank Williams said it best. He said it a long time ago. Unless you have made no mistake in your life, be careful of stones that you throw.
This guy hates Hank
All right,
Williams.
so I think with all that time, he's not. Let's go to the verse.
One man's famine is another man's feast.
Perfect. Start off on a high note. That one was correct. Final verse. Then this torturous
what?
curse of being forced to listen to chunks of songs at a time with stupid analysis is over. All right, we're almost there. We're in the final stretch. Verse number 3. One man's famine is another man's feast.
I guess that's why he
Correct.
didn't want to say feast before.
Maybe.
But wait, didn't he say feast before? He just changed
He said
food.
feast to food. He got rid of the word grub.
All right, that makes feast using it later.
Now again, this next
better.
one you would think would follow because it's one man's pet is another man's beast, which would rhyme with feast.
True.
One man's pet is another man's beast.
Okay, he was like, no, that one stood out to me. He's like, that sounds.
I thought he was gonna say one
one
man's pet's another man's pigeon.
That was fucking sick. That was a sick callback. That's because it started off saying one man's pigeon, another man's dove. Now we have the full circle of going to ending on what a pigeon is. So one person's pet is a guy's pigeon. It's like, I guess that kind of makes sense.
And one
I guess
guy's-
someone could have a pet pigeon.
And one man's pigeon's another man's dove.
And then why was that line? Why is there still 20 lines left? One man's bat is another man's ball. One man's art is another man's scrawl.
I don't understand the bat and ball line, to be honest.
I don't know. I don't understand the next one either, so we might be 0 for 2 here, because at least I'm foreign as well.
One man's bat is another man's ball.
All right.
One man's art is another man's scroll.
He said it.
I'm so high right now. I wanted to hear that better, so I put my ear to the microphone before I realized that that's not how microphones work.
It's not how they work. Now we should have one man's friend is another man's foe. One man's Joseph is another man's Joe. That
That's
one
a
I know
dumb
is in
line.
the song.
I don't like that line.
That one's in the song. One man's hammer is another man's nail. One man's freedom is another man's jail. I think that might be 4 for 4 right there. Friend, foe, Joseph, Joe, hammer, nail, freedom, jail.
I hope he changes Joseph. I
Let's
hope he
see.
changes the name. So it's
He's
not
like,
even
one
Joe.
man's Michael is another man's Mike. And
No,
everyone's like, that's an arbitrary change.
I guess that's what it meant.
I think I had a perfect example for a split second of some dumb fucking movie that just rebooted it and like just changed the character's first name. It's like, that was such an irrelevant thing to do in your interpretation. And it was something dumb too, where it was like, yeah, the character's name was Jason, and we decided in this version, in the new updated version, Jerry just fit the character better.
I think you're right, but I think it's something else they just did that with too, where they changed the last name by like 2 letters.
Who knows, man? Fucking Hank Williams said it best. We're back. We're not going to spiral off this time. We've already wasted 32 minutes of your time. And astonishing. And they're like, wow,
Yeah, but this was educational.
3-minute song, 30-minute video.
We spent 10 minutes a minute.
3 verses, 10 minutes a verse. That's a pretty bang for your fucking buck. All right. So I think it's 4 for 4. Again, since I spent so much time talking on a talk show, I'll remind you. We should have friend, foe, Joseph, Joe, hammer, nail, freedom, jail. Foe and Joe rhyme, nail and jail rhyme. Should be easy to follow.
One man's friend is another man's foe.
Got him.
One man's Joseph is another man's Joe.
Oh, he's doing good.
Nope. Okay. That's a better line.
What do you say,
Kind
one
of.
man's tack?
Tact. Yeah, like a tack.
Gotcha.
So one man's tack is another man's nail.
Yeah,
Is
that
that
makes-
better than one man's hammer is another man's nail?
I don't know. I don't get, because the song was doing this thing where it was kind of like doing opposites. I
Yeah.
don't understand.
How is a hammer the opposite of a nail?
Yeah, I mean, so I guess some men
Wouldn't like
hit
the opposite of a nail? He could have gone like screw, maybe.
I don't get what he's going for there. So I guess tack's better.
Well, we'll see if we can
also don't
finish
know.
strong on. You guys remember landing? I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. It should be freedom and jail.
Man's freedom is another man's jail.
Perfect. All right, he just like the word hammer there. Only a couple more lines. Then the fucking what the fuck is it called? How am I blanking on what comes between heaven and hell?
Purgatory.
Thank you.
welcome.
Purgatory's over. I guess I was in purgatory there thinking about that. So we should have one man's... That's funny. One man's road is another man's rut. One man's if is another man's butt. He said man's butt.
That's hilarious.
That's something. Didn't realize the song had a secret meaning attached to it.
Oh, now I know what the
Ooh.
fish line means.
Now it's also now the pieces of now the croissant thing makes a hell of a lot of sense.
One man's tooth, another man's hair. Now
One
it's all
man's-
coming together.
One man's road is another man's rut. One man's if is another man's What? The fuck? Dude, Mick Harvey better change that one.
One man's road is another man's rut. One man's if is another man's butt. One
Wow.
man's is another man's truth.
Yo, this verse is insane. We get one man's if is another man's butt. One man's treasure. That's fucking suggestive. One man's treasure is another man's trash he kept. Will he keep one man's landing is another man's crash?
Will he keep?
Landing is another man's crash.
Yeah, but he said it crazy.
I'm sorry.
What the hell was that? Did you hear him crash?
He's getting a little excited there.
Jesus Christ. One man's word is another man's lie. One man's dirt is another man's sky. One man's skin is another man's color. One man's killer is another man's brother. Another line that seems a little... I maybe wish I proofread before I read out loud.
One man's lie, one man's dirt, another man's sky, one man's skin is another man's color, one man's killer is another man's brother.
Finished 4 for 4.
It's almost not fun when he's actually
It's almost
saying
it's
the
almost
words.
like, again, now you guys really just did waste 15 seconds of my time completely. You weren't even... Now there's no commentary. Now it's just you, again, playing a song I didn't want to hear.
Yeah, it was better when he was saying things like tooth and fish and
Croissant.
pigeon and croissant.
And croissant.
Also, he says crash.
Yeah.
And he does croissant.
2 little breakups in the word. 2 crashes.
Nice.
And then he's one more chorus to end the song. Will he finally say what Hank Williams said at best?
Are we never gonna know what Hank Williams said?
Place your bets. What are you thinking, Robbie? I already know the answer.
Well, you do know.
I know exactly how the song ends.
I'm gonna say no.
Does he finally say Hank Williams said it best? He said it a long time ago. Unless you have made no mistakes in your life, be careful of the stones you throw.
You know what he's probably gonna do? He's either A, just gonna sing the same first 2 lines he's been singing,
Yeah,
or
and then
B,
stopping.
he's going to sing that line, but he's never gonna credit Hank Williams for it.
He's going to say Mick Harvey said it best.
Oh, I hope maybe.
All right, chorus is coming up.
He's not gonna do it. He's just gonna end it abruptly again.
The same is... We want to hear it?
No,
Listen.
I don't think so. Wow,
Oh!
he actually says it.
Unless you have
Change the
made
line.
no mistakes in your life. Oh, stones that you throw.
I was hoping he changed it completely. Like he said,
Kept it.
Hank Williams said it best.
Which now means...
If the expiration date
No,
is
no,
passed,
no,
that's
no.
what he's gonna say.
Which now means that we just wasted 37 minutes of the time making fun of him for not using the chorus, when in actuality, he was just saving the Hank Williams part for the end. Being like, hey, Hank Williams really said it best. And I don't have to fucking say it 3 times like that fucking asshole in 1995 who thinks he can cover Highwaymen and take on all 4. You know how much of an egomaniac you have to be? First off, to be named Guy Clark. That's a stupid name.
That's a
and if
bad
you
name.
have that name by birth, that's your government name. You know you get to have as a singer a stage name to correct the fucking fallacy your parents made. And then he's gonna fucking take Highwaymen and cover it and be such a egomaniac that he's like, instead of maybe getting 3 friends, unless he doesn't have any, his name is Guy Clark. I'm gonna get 3 friends to do. I'll do all 4 verses myself. I'll do it all by my lonesome, and this I'll call a cover. I thought the point of a cover is like do something good and like, you know, respect the song, show
Maybe-
appreciation for the song.
Maybe that's why Mick Harvey changed so many of the words.
get back at him.
Because he was doing what that guy did.
He
so
was like,
many
you
years
think you
prior.
can fucking just take 4 incredible verses that are just somehow each? It's like it's like listening to Forever, all right? Isn't it? With the fucking Kanye. Oh, Kanye kicked ass.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Lil Wayne is kicking ass right now. Eminem said what? Macadamia nuts? That's fucking insane. Holy shit. And then that's the folk equivalent of that. Highwayman. It's a little less of a fucking like yo, but it's still pretty sick. Don't you agree with 4 verses? And then he's like, all right, let's fucking ruin it. And then you're thinking like, Alex, you gonna end the fucking episode yet? You gonna end the episode yet? Because now you completed the song. You've already wasted 39 minutes. You know what? No, it's gonna be a whole 40. Why not?
Well, you know what they say, right? Hank Williams
said it best. Dude, that's genius.
Croissant.
Oh, that works too. I was gonna actually read the fucking final line, and that's like what ends the curse.
That's pretty good, actually.
Because you know what? There's a good chance that this is 40 minutes long, and a lot of people like tuned out well ago. Okay, but there's some sad people out there that I fall a part of too. Where it's like I saw the video, I have to finish the video, I have to hear what they're saying, right? So there's someone who's like, just please, for the love of God, stop talking about this goddamn song so I can move on with my day. And your wish is gonna come true. But what I should say is really that Hank Williams said it best. Oh, so depressing that I left the ad and I have to scroll back down to the lyrics.
Oh, that's fine.
There's not enough time. There's 10 seconds. I can do it.
Alex, you can do this.
Hank Williams said it best. He said it a long time ago. Unless you have made no mistakes in your life, be careful of the stones that you throw. 2 more seconds, actually.